So what is the best slang for you?
Proper. But in the UK, proper just means very or extremely or a lot.
Well, I think using fuck in every single scenario where you can is a very Australian thing.
Toilets are the loo, elevators are the lift, and I'm just like, what are you talking about?
グレーのはずくんです。皆さんどうもこんにちは、トイです。今回はネイティブの友達に英語スラングについて聞いてみた。はい、ということで今回もやっていきたいと思うんですけど、まずいきなり英語スラングってなんやねんっていう話なんですけど、英語スラングっていうのは俗に言う若者言葉ですよね。まだちょっとカジュアルな場とかフォーマルじゃない時に使われる、ちょっと砕けた表現のことをスラング表現って言うんですけど、この英語スラング表現ってその国によってやっぱり違うんですよね。いわゆるその英語がネイティブだって言われてる国は、アメリカとかイギリスとか、あとはオーストラリアとか、その何カ国かがあるんですけど、そのそれぞれの国の中でやっぱりその英語スラング表現っていうのは違うわけですよね。例えば僕オーストラリアで留学してたんですけど、当時そのオーストラリア、オージーイングリッシュって言われるんですけど、そのオーストラリア英語が難しすぎてっていうのもその現地の人ってすごい言葉を略すんですよね。略すしなんかその原型とどめてないやんみたいな言葉も結構あるわけですよね。例えばじゃあ代表的なもので言ったら、afternoon、英語で午後、afternoonって言うじゃないですか。でもオーストラリアのスラングではアーボって言うんですよね。ヌーンどこ行ったみたいな感じになるわけですよね。アーボは結構代表的なスラング表現なので、わりかしその世界的にも有名かなと思うんですけど、仮にそのじゃあアメリカのめちゃくちゃ田舎にいた時に、じゃあこのアーボっていう表現が通じるかって言われたら、僕多分通じないと思うんですよね。こういう感じで、そのそれぞれの国によって、同じ英語なのにその独自の言葉、独自の言い回し表現とかがあるっていうのは、これから英語学習をしていく上でも、すごい役に立つなと思って、今回は実際に日本に住んでるネイティブの友達にそのスラング、英語のスラング表現についてちょっといろいろインタビューしてきたので、今回も最後まで見ていただければなと思います。Okay, let's get into it. Yeah, so you can tell me about Australian the slang. What kind of the slang do you think? Oh, this is interesting.
Well, everything is like shortening it. Australians are lazy when we talk, so everything is shorter, and you try to end every word with like "oh." So, a place where you buy alcohol, like a liquor store, we call that a bottle shop, or in slang, bottle-o.
Bottle-o, okay. Is that common in daily conversation?
Yeah, everyone would say, going down to the bottle-o to get some beer. Even in Google Maps, you can search in Australia, bottle-o, and it will show you liquor stores near your house.
Really?
Yeah.
What about afternoon? How do you guys say?
Avo.
Shorten the word, right?
And avocado is avo. So you got to watch out for this.
Okay. Almost same.
Almost the same.
Okay.
This avo, I'm having some avo.
Okay. What about toilet? How do you guys say? Danny. Danny is definitely the person's name, right?
I don't know where that comes from.
Okay.
It's like in Australia, a lot of toilets used to be outside of the house in the old days.
Okay.
And I don't know why. Yeah, that's like the Danny.
So when I first arrived in Australia, some of my friends, they say, Danny, but I didn't understand at all. So Danny. Let's imagine, so they are the guy and who want to go to Australia. He wants to study about the Aussie slang. So what kind of advice, what kind of things would you tell him?
I would say be prepared to, don't be shocked if you hear a lot of swear words or rude words.
Okay.
This is very normal for Australians, even at work or whatever. I would say, yeah, nah means no. Nah, yeah means yes. So you've got to be careful about that.
That's so complicated, yeah. The totally opposite, right? What is the best Aussie slang for you? What would you pick?
Best Aussie slang.
Slang you are most proud of, let's say.
It's all rude. Is it okay to swear on YouTube?
Yeah. It's okay. if it's not okay, I'm gonna edit and put the beep, something like that. It's okay. Yeah.
Well, I think using fuck in every single scenario where you can is a very Australian thing. Even Americans get shocked about this. Even at work, it's okay.
Very slang.
very slang. Yeah.
Very casual way, right?
Yeah, very casual culture. Sometimes people will learn a new slang word, maybe on the internet or something, and then use it a lot all the time in like the wrong places. It's okay. It's funny though. But yeah, I see that sometimes.
In wrong occasion, they're gonna use this kind of
dangerous. Now you got to be careful.
Can be dangerous. Yeah, 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
This is my last question. How do you guys say McDonald's in Aussie slang?
Macca's.
The slang Slang is a really complicated question because it changes with each generation.
Right.
Even within the same generation, slang changes so fast. So, for instance, like when I was younger, common slang, cool and chill. Well, I know cool is used super normally, but that's
Right.
like actually slang. Now, the new generation, like using slang, I have no idea about. For instance, have you ever heard no cap?
I've heard of that one.
Same.
No
I have no idea what they're talking about. No cap is Gen Z slang. So I'm a millennial. So I have no idea what they're talking about. I think cap is slang for BS. It means the F word. There's another phrase that they use like no capping.
You guys say cop as a police?
Oh, that's cop.
That's
C-O-P.
cop.
So this is cap. C-A-P.
CAP.
Some people, popo. That's slang for the
Popo?
police.
日
Yeah.
本でいうなんかおまわりさん的な感じかな。Do you know おまわりさん
Omawari-san is police, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't say おまわりさん。で、おまわりさん like he's just for
Really?
the kids, I think. だからおまわりさん来るよとか。
Oh no, I
I'm
use
not
that. I know there's lots of slang for the police. It depends on the kind of community you're in.
Right.
I know black people, they like to call me popo. Can't tell you why.
You guys say popo.
It-
Popo
it-
is coming.
Yeah, it depends. The community of like, more like poorer communities.
Okay.
In my kind of friend group, there's some people who like to use the word mad. Mad means very, so I'd be like, oh, that's mad chill. So the original like definition of mad is like angry, upset,
Right.
right? But in the slang, mad it means like totemo. So
Okay.
yeah, I'd be like, oh, that's mad cool, or like, oh, this is mad salty.
Is that a common?
But it depends.
Depends.
So I have some friends who are from the East Coast,
Right.
and that's how they talk. Oh, let's go over here. I heard it's like mad poppin'. Poppin' means cool as well. It's popular. There's a lot of people.
Okay. Is that not from? Okay.
Yeah.
まあ、ポピー。めっちゃ
めっちゃかっこいい。
めっちゃかっこいい。How should I say? Like knowing that slang is a continual process, right?
Oh.
Even for you.
Yeah,
Right?
like I said.
Depends on the generation.
Yep.
In
New
teenagers,
slangs coming
yeah.
up. I have no idea what they're
Right.
saying.
What about other countries, native English-speaking countries slang? For example, Australia. Sometimes it's difficult for you to understand what other people say. The other slang, Aussie slang, the British slang. You guys don't understand?
So I don't have too many friends from Australia, but like for example, for the UK, I know that they call things by different names. Vacuums are hoovers in the
Oh
UK,
yeah,
right?
I know that one.
Like
yeah.
I didn't think that was slang. I think that's just is that slang or is that just how the word for
Right.
vacuum? Got that issue. Like they call toilets or the loo, elevators or the lift, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? It might be a slang issue. Australia, I don't know anyone from Australia. Just their accent is difficult for me.
Yeah.
Hello, governor.
Good day, mate.
Exactly. Good day.
Yeah, good day.
I just don't understand like what they're saying pronunciation wise.
Yeah. That's true. I used to live in Sydney for
Oh, my
10
goodness.
months. First couple of weeks or months, I really struggling with understanding what other people say in English.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that is not English. That is Australian.
Correct.
Yeah. So
That's not English.
Today, my friend from England over here, Don. So can you please introduce a little bit yourself?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name's Dan from England. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thank you. So how long have you been in Japan?
I've been in Japan for about 6.5 years now.
Okay, like quite a long time.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
long.
How is your life in Japan so far?
It's pretty good, not bad. It's not.
What brought you to Japan this time?
It's quite complicated, but basically, I wanted to become a Pokemon master. So I came to Japan.
Jump into the main question.
Sure.
So today, I want to ask you some questions related to slang.
Sure.
English slang.
Sure.
So I think each and every native English-speaking country has own, the language which is called slang,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And also today's teenagers have come up with tons of, new slang terms that we have, the trouble
Yes,
understanding. And I know, some of the countries, for example, you are from England, but one of my best friends is from the state, and you guys, have a
Different.
totally different slang, right? When you think of, British slang, what comes to your mind?
We have a lot of slang that is quite difficult for even Americans to understand. 40 different dialects in one country. So even dialect to dialect, the words are different, right? So
Right.
sometimes people will say things and I don't really get it. These days in London, there's a lot of like youth slang that I don't really understand because I'm too old. They'll say crepes, which is like sneakers. They'll say peng, which is like attractive. Like first time I heard this stuff, I was a bit like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah, that's like modern youth British slang. Sometimes I have to Google like, what are they on about?
Right.
What does peng mean? Because I don't know. Like,
I know, many slangs over there, your country.
Yeah.
So what is the best slang for you? Now, that's kind of a difficult question, and also this is a very, how should I say, like subjective question
yeah,
because
like everybody's answer.
yeah,
will be
the
different.
answer, really different.
Probably the word proper. The real meaning of this word is like correct.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's what I know. Yeah.
But in the UK, proper just means very or extremely or a lot. Like,
Right.
oh, it's proper warm today. It's very hot today.
Like
Right?
exaggerate something.
Yeah. Another one that I use all the time is in it, which is isn't it. In it.
In it.
Like-
you guys mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's expensive, in it. Do you agree?
in it,
Like,
in it, in it.
kind of like nah. That's kind of useful.
Yeah,
but it's
but-
also a response. Somebody says like it's expensive, like in it. I agree.
Right. So we can use that one as a response in the daily conversation. That's really useful, actually. Yeah. So you've been working as an English teacher for a long time in Japan, right? I feel like that many people, that some of them that study English, but have a tendency to use slang too much. So I'm a firm believer to that. The people need to build the solid foundation of English skill first,
Yes.
and then later on, they can study about that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
for sure.
Yeah. So
Like,
what do you think?
Don't spend time learning idioms and slang. If you know the English levels, like B1, C1, or whatever, when you get to like B2 level, like upper intermediate, that's when you should start learning slang, learning phrasal verb. Until then, you need to learn the core vocabulary and some basic grammar, then move on to some cool stuff like slang.
Right. That's a proper way to
Yeah.
study English.
Yes, I would say like that's what I would advise for people. You've got to walk before you can run.
That's
so,
true. Yeah. I like that kind of expression.
Yeah, like buy a grammar book, learn the basic vocabulary that we use every day, start reading some books, and then you can start learning, interesting stuff that you're going to see in TV shows and stuff.
I think the hands-on training is the best way to learn.
for sure.
Yeah,
For sure,
So
like-
exactly true, I think. Okay, so this is my last question.
Sure.
My watcher, most of them study English, or I want to study English. They go abroad, whatever.
Yeah.
So you are the Japanese learner, right? If you give advice to them, what would you say?
Okay, this is super important, so please listen. Communication is point number one. Being perfect is not real. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm a native speaker. I make mistakes in English, and I'm a teacher, so it's okay for you to make mistakes. Stop trying to be perfect.
Just don't be afraid of making mistakes.
It's natural.
Yeah, we can get motivation from not being perfect, I think. Yeah.
I think there's a thing in Japan where, like in school especially, like if they don't know the perfect answer, they don't say anything. If you can get over that and you can be okay with not being perfect, your English will improve loads because you can actually use it and you're not scared to use it. You can actually
right.
try. Every time you make a mistake, you learn a lesson and you take one step further forward. So make a lot of mistakes.